and thanks for staying with us. This is Focus Nigeria. My name is Amaechi Anakwue. Now, as Nigerians go deep into 2025, the issues, developments, and events that will dominate the year are taking shape. From the business and economic sphere to the political front, the year holds so much for the country. And on our discourse today, we will dissect these issues as they unfold. They come in heaps and bounds. My guest is Professor Obiora Okonkwo. He's the chairman of United Nigeria Airlines, a political scientist, and a politician. Thank you so much for staying with us. My guest, Professor Obiora Okonkwo, Chairman United Nigeria Airlines. He holds the traditional title DICORA. It just been now for perspectives on economic, political, and governance issues. Thank you so much for coming over.
Thank you for having me, Doc. Is it too late to say Happy New Year?
It's never too late.
The first time I've been in this year in your studio.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I said the year holds so much for Nigeria. But let's start from the business sector where you're quite active in operation. It was a season for the aviation industry by end of year because prices shot up the rooftop.
Did they really?
A ticket was going for about 300,000 for one way.
And they consider that too high. Well, people have complained about this, and I've tried in different fora to give some explanation. That could only be for certain destination. And the reason is because if you have to provide services to those destinations, that season of the year, let's say you're going to Owerri, you're going to Enugu, the southeast part, you could have 100% capacity going. But on your way back, you probably may have 0 passenger. It costs exactly the same amount to fly, full, maybe with a little bit of few little percentage of differential because of weight in fuel consumption, but almost the same amount coming back. So for you to be able to offer those services, you have to recover money. So those people who are going with full aircraft will have to pay for the price of return. That's just the only reason. So it is not special gain or special benefit. We would like a balanced traffic. You carry the same passenger going, carry the same passenger coming back, then you spread the cost. If you look at that season, if you're going to northern part of Nigeria, where there was, it's not like the Christmas season effect taking place there. You could still see balanced prices. If you're coming from Abuja, Lagos, Abuja, the costs are balanced. So nobody was taking advantage of anyone else, but that was what we had to charge to be able to recover the cost to offer the service.
But good enough, the prices are coming down now. Around 100,000 per.
So that's
in
exactly
the
what I'm
past,
saying.
We saw it hit 180, 150.
Well, because now you have balanced passengers. You have about same number going, the same number coming back. But even if you look at that period also,
even the period preceding it, just before the end of year, we saw 150 or so, but now it has come down to around 100.
Well, if it's coming down to around 100, it has come to that time of the year we pay for you to travel. We subsidize your travel because I've said over and over again, any ticket you buy for less than $150 for 1 hour flight internally in Nigeria, somebody else is paying the price.
So the economic price is $150 for
minimum
an hour flight, say Lagos to Abuja.
Minimum.
That's you're talking about over 250,000.
Minimum. That should be the minimum for us to be even on cost recovery. Then if you want to make profit, you should be paying about $200. If you fly the same period, if you fly 1 hour in America, in London, wherever, it's the same cost. It's the same cost of operation. So why should we be taking less? That's why our growth is very slow.
And I also know that the aviation industry is not an industry that guarantees extra profit.
So that's the problem. So because we're also very sensitive to economic situation and understand that the aviation sector is an essential sector that offers service, that help other things to develop. And we're also patriotic Nigerians. We do consider certain things, but that only comes to our own detriment. So please pray for us. Pray for me.
And we're seeing new operators, new airlines join the market, not so profitable, but they keep coming.
Well, I mean, people have passion for service. It's attractive. It's business that you can only sustain if you have passion for service and national assignment.
So what do you
And it's
foresee?
addictive.
Beyond the profit, that I was speaking with someone and just after the inauguration of President Trump, and he was bemoaning the fact that we don't have a Nigeria airline, of course. And he says is the easiest way to sell a country. In most world capitals, you see Ethiopia. So you don't need to be told that there's a country called Ethiopia. So airlines, national carriers are one way of selling and marketing a country, as it were.
Well, I wouldn't argue with the person. That's probably from his own understanding, but I think differently, and just tell me how many countries that have national airline. And you have to understand the purpose is serving them. Ethiopian Airline is not marketing the company. It's like their own oil. It's their own source of revenue. And if you see, 90% of the passengers that go into Ethiopia, they don't even visit there. It's a route. It's
Transit.
a business they have been able to develop, making it a hub. That's why they are very, very aggressive in making sure our own internal aviation succeeds. But for benefit of doubt, and I hope that person who was telling you this is listening, British Airways is not a national carrier. It's what we call a flag carrier. UK do not have national carrier. America does not have national carrier. Germany does not have. They don't have. What they have is flag carrier. Flag carrier is a private investment that flies the country's flag, which could be EPIS, which could be United Nigeria, which could be any other airline. Okay, EPIS is going great. It's making us proud. Last week I came back from London on EPIS. You can't imagine how proud I was to see EPIS on that hangar waiting to board. When I was walking into the check-in place, I was really so proud. We want to see a whole lot of that in other countries, in New York and all that. So basically, if you go to Emirates, if you go to Qatar, the reason why people are going to discover those countries was part of their development plan, that they need to put in their airline at the cost of the government to bring in people to discover.
Tourists.
So even when the government is pumping money there at losses, those people who are coming with other benefits to the nation. Do we have that benefits to offer? I've always said that aviation is a catalyst to other things to happen. It's for national development, but it must have to. Are we tourists ready? How many? If you see a typical aircraft coming into Nigeria on any other airline, 99% of the passengers are Nigerians. So basically, for us, what we need is a mobility, and if government should invest in this, knowing how badly government manages business, it will be another drain on the economy. That's what we are talking about. Government, is selling off things they have, things that are easier even to manage. You remember when this telecommunication era started, companies like MTN, they bidded for their license $300 million. You remember that was what they paid. MTN was given one license free of charge. What did they make out of it? So the issue is that it's known all over the world that government, especially government of Nigeria, manage business poorly. For those who are advocating national carrier, we're not against. If they want to do national carrier, let's do it the way it should be done, not the way it was cooked up by the so-called Ethiopian airline and the rest. But if I have to advise as an economist, as a Nigerian who is patriotic, and for somebody who now has knowledge, we came back from World Aviation Conference last week in Dublin. 99.5% of people I saw in the aviation business roundtable, everything, are private sector driven. So people are entitled to their own opinion,
Absolutely.
nevertheless, but I think that from my deep knowledge, that's not what we need now. We just need to strengthen our flag carriers, the private sector driven businesses, and then I'm sure they will take us to where we want to
So
be.
what's your outlook? What do you hope to see, or what will likely play out in the aviation sector in 2025?
Oh, we are going to see a very robust aviation sector. And this is coming from the fact that in the last 1.5 years, since coming on board of our amiable Minister Festus Keyamo, by the way, his birthday was a few days ago. I congratulate him. Happy
He turned
birthday once
55,
more.
I think.
Yes. So he has been quite dedicated and committed. And through interface and engagement with stakeholders, he knew where the problems were. And he started dealing with them. You remember the achievements he had made the last year, domesticating the Cape Town Convention, the new practice direction, removing the stumbling blocks in the leasing arrangements, solving the insurance issue, where we are now engaged the lessors about the risk placement. Those were the big problems. We actually came to the end of it from this Dublin conference. So we expect those things to translate into visible and practical results. And when that comes in, we're going to see a very robust aviation sector. And then that would have just been like removing that stuff that is clogging our throat and did not allow us to breathe. So we're very hopeful. So this year,
So you're quite optimistic.
Very, very
of
optimistic.
Improvements, milestones.
Yes, that's my
Okay.
that's my hope. And we're hoping also that with improved economic situation, because the more you have people moving to middle class and having surplus money, then they will be able to afford the services. Yeah. But today, for me, aviation and flying should not be for the rich.
It's a matter of necessity.
It's a matter of necessity. It should be for all.
Obiora Okonkwo, professor and academic,
Yes.
a businessman, and a politician. What a miss. How do you put all this in a basket?
And a high chief. That is, don't forget it. Yeah, so I'm a traditional man. Well, we give God the glory. It is only by His grace. It sometimes it's not easy to strike a balance, but believe you me, it's good. When the time for professorship come, I do what I have to do. I still have my classes, I lecture my students. When the business time comes, you do business. And then politics, I have PhD in political science, so I've been in practice of politics, not necessarily elective politics, for almost 30 years. I've been behind this, and now reason why so many things happen. I've built political structures in different areas. So for me, I've been able to compartmentalize, and it's going on well, at least at this age. I do not know what will be in the next couple of years when I'll be younger.
Okay, so the last time you ran for the governorship of Anambra State under PDP,
Yeah.
Are you still in PDP?
No.
Where are you now?
Well, I am not in APC, as a matter of fact, and it is obvious that I'm also running again for governorship. Yes.
And INEC has just blown the whistle.
Yes.
For November 2025?
The die is cast.
So why the choice of APC?
It is, we've looked at the situation, and don't you, when I ran in PDP, there was, for obvious reason, for me to leave PDP then after the election. And the parties today have not been able to get themselves together. And for us, from the position where we are playing the politics, you may know what to do, how to go about it, but it is very difficult to make that input because of the composition of the party. PDP, the crisis that is going
Anambra
through.
problem
No, it's not on. It's the
central
nation.
PDP,
It's national.
PDP.
It's from bottom down. It's not. PDP in the state is more or less fairly stable, but obviously, you only test the stability during the election time, which obviously is always expected. So then you look at it, ABGA is in the state, stiffening the state and squeezing it to death. I've never believed in that one state party and their own shenanigans, so there wouldn't have been any reason to take me to.
So with
ABGA.
PDP members and your associates, they feel let down by your movement?
No. They understand that ABGA has to be removed. They understand that Soludo has to come to an end. And there was a very wide consultation. And after that consultation, both from my stakeholder supporters, individual and institutional groups, we came to a conclusion. It wasn't a personal decision that I made. We came to a conclusion that to give the fight that is required against an incumbent, we need also a strong and stable party and platform that will match what is required. And APC it is for now. And coincidentally, there was also a huge interest in me from APC. So it became a marriage of confidence and love. And so we met each other at a very, very point of understanding. So that is the reason. So there's no disappointment. Rather, it is a jubilation and support.
Are some of your associates, your structure in PDP also, have they moved with you?
You see, the next election in Anambra State is about coalition. We need to have a coalition of all the political parties. It should be a coalition of the good against the evil. The good are other people in politics and Nigeria. The evil is Soludo government and his ABGA. So today, it doesn't matter where you are. You must agree. If you agree that Anambra has been run down, if you agree that there has not been economic development for the past years of Soludo, because you cannot make a development on top of an insecurity, which it has been at its worst. So if you agree in all of those, if you agree that you have a government that is not there for the people, but just his ego, then you should join the other force. The other force is the force which we are coaliting, and because that you must have to be done on a platform of a political party, APC looks more stable and then ready to give us that platform to remove and chase Soludo and his ABGA. So it's an Anambra People's Project.
Well, you talked about consultation and you mentioned the fact that it's wide. When we come back from this short break, we want to know how wide it was. The width, did it extend to the frontiers of Labour Party and all that? Do stay with us. Thank you so much for staying with us. Professor Obiora Okonkwo, Chairman, United Nigeria Airlines, politician, and a traditional chieftaincy institution struck member, has been with me, taking a look at national issues, but just before the end, we zeroed into Anambra issues. Now, still with Anambra, you're a political scientist, political economist. You know how difficult it is to remove an incumbent across the world, not just with Nigeria. You spoke about consultation, and I was asking, how wide was this consultation? Because for you to unseat the sitting government, the first thing that the opposition should do is to unite and not be fragmented going into the contest.
Absolutely, you are right. If you look at the political parties and have a good understanding of Anambra political structure, political party members probably constitute about 20 to 30% of the voters. 70% of the voters are non-aligned voters in Anambra State. So you don't just need the consultation with the political parties. Consultation with the political parties should be for the purpose of having a ticket, a mandate to run in the platform. But we did consult deeply with the political parties, and there are a lot of discussions going on. Obviously, it's not going to be easy, but the issue is that the poor performance of Soludo has brought us under one roof, and that roof is that Soludo must go.
Is it a movement?
It's a movement. That's where it's going to get to. But that movement will find its own direction fully when the candidates emerged. So if the right candidate, presumably like me, should emerge in the right platform like APC, obviously it will be obvious to who can now do it better. Is it the candidate of B party? Is it the candidate of C party? And then from there, we have to come together. I won't give out the secret so that Soludo and his people will not understand where we're coming from. Well, but this is just a little bit of what's going on. But beyond the consultation with the political parties, Anambra State is deeply influenced also by traditional and religion institutions. They're very, very influential. That consultation has gone wide. And as it is today, we have already had Soludo like this. These are people who naturally, in the past, would want AMGA because of the deceitful statement in Kabunkai, this is our own. It's obvious now AMGA is no more our own. It's Soludo's own. There's no AMGA. The spirit of AMGA has left. Everything you see today is solution, Soludo solution. The projects he builds solution. The movement he has solution.
You can as well say APC at the center, you have Bola Tinubu and renewed hope, almost overtaking APC. So is it not normal that there should be a slogan to drive, from a movement also to drive governance?
Well, it is beyond slogan. We know that APC is still there. It is nothing near what we have in Anambra State. For instance, you remember those great days of ABGA. You will see ABGA people coming in their regalia, enshrined with Ojukwu image, with cork, all over the places. I don't even know if they use it as pajamas, and some of them might even use it as their underwear. But today, you don't see it. What you see Soludo today wearing is his red top and the white trouser.
That's
sometimes
local fabrics.
Sometimes that denotes a traditionalist, in a traditional a ritualist or something.
Does it? What he said on assumption is that he's going to patronize local products. And Akwete is a local cloth made from within the state. So
good for him.
That's the argument from his own side. He's promoting local economy.
No, I don't have any problem with that. But we're talking about the symbolism of political party, the image, what you know them for. This is local stuff you're wearing. We'll wear local stuff. Nobody does that more than me. But we're talking about what ABGA is known for. The spirit is very, very important. So now that cock is gone from ABGA. And what you see him now, what is now enshrined in his cap and his clothes is vulture, Udene. That thing, I don't know where that is coming from. It's nothing near ABGA. So to throw ABGA, to throw the
Have I seen vulture insignia?
I don't know what you see in that. I don't know what you see.
In his clothing.
But in his clothing and his cow, that's what I see. So I don't know. Maybe I have to remove my glass next time to look at it twice.
Absolutely.
but that's what I see. But whatever is there, no matter what, it's nothing near to cock, because the cock, you don't have to look twice to know what it is. We know ABGA for cock and Ojukwu. Is gone from what is wearing in public functions and so For that reason, Anambra people know that the spirit has left there. And all they need to do now, more importantly, that being alone, standing alone, is not what they require. They need to, again, reconnect with the central body. And that's a resolution and conclusion that has been made in majority of the quarters. Hence, the decision to say, okay, go, we follow you.
Okay, now within APC, it's been not so quiet within APC in Anambra State. I know each time a minister is appointed, there's this pushback. No, this one is not one of us. Even the last ministerial appointment from Anambra State, Bianca Ojukwu, they said, no, this is someone from APCA. What kind of reception did you get from those that were holding the fort within APC?
Oh, no. I mean, it might interest you to know that before now, they have been all over me, thinking that they need somebody like me, they need the name like me, they need the face like me into a piece of Anambra State to give it the clout and attract the kind of people they need. I was taking my time because I needed to ensure that it's not my personal journey, that I have people. You know, I don't just want it to put in my pocket. I want to make sure it's what the people of Anambra State want. And it took me that time. So May coming was jubilation and celebration. But besides, it might interest you to know that I started my my party politics from AC and ASEAN. 70% of those who are there.
When was this?
Oh, yes. It's in the 2007, 2010 election. Oh, yes. I was the calm man. I was the hem of affairs. Then Giga was calling the shot, but within that family.
You were operating underground?
Yes.
Were you in contact with Bola Tinubu then, the party's leader?
Oh yes, we have had occasions I've met with him, and I remember that encounter, that particular day. It was my first meeting with him was in 2011, towards the general election. He was preparing to run for Senate, and then there was this candidate coming from Anambra South, who was the sitting senator then. He was able to hijack the structure of Anambra South and gave himself the ticket. So Ngio was very, very panicky because he always liked to have full control of the party. So I remember him walking up to me in my office that particular day, tears, crying. You know what I mean, crying that he was finished. His opponents have taken over the party. And they said, who made that happen? He said it was Asiwaju. So I asked, where was Asiwaju? He said, Asiwaju was in his guest house. So let's go and see Asiwaju. So when we got there, Asiwaju said he was already late. His fleet was ready for him to leave. The aircraft was waiting for him at the airport. I said, no problem. There's important discussion we have to have. I'll follow you to the airport. At the time, we had a discussion. As a very, very decisive, strategic person, I said, look, this decision is not good for Faustin Giga, and it's not good for the party in Anambra State. Reverse it. Give him back the structure. He gave me a reason why he did, which I don't want to talk here, but I said, for whatever reason, I will take care of it personally. He did exactly that. And then we went, that was what brought Giga to the Senate. You know, there are a whole lot behind that. So I've been involved and run the shows. I controlled the election that brought him to the Senate, the House of Reps, the Senate, the State Assembly member in our constituency. So
have you reached out to the president since you moved over to the APC?
There's a link. There's a link. There's a link. There's a communication. So.
Okay, quite interesting, because I know it's very crucial in order. But what of the issue of zoning is very strong in Anambra politics. And you know what I mean?
Yes.
Very strong.
Yeah.
8 years for South, 8 years for Central, 8 years for the other side. And the South is there to exhaust its 8 years.
Well, I always believe in equity. And equity is where there's fairness. with good sense of reasoning. And for that reason, I think that what we have, and I understand zoning, right? When there is. Where there is zoning is where all the parties come to a table and say, this is how we're going to move. And when we are moving, it is exclusive for these people. There was never a time we had that understanding in Anambra State. There was never a time we had that zoning in Anambra State. From 1999, the first person that won the election in Anambra State was Mbadenju. Mbadenju was from the south. He did 4 years. He actually ran a second tenure as candidate from south against Peter Obi in 2003, against Ngige. There were candidates like Mohalo and others who ran from the south in 2003. Ngige won not because of zoning. Obviously, from the records, we have to, for officially Ngige was never a governor. But Peter Obi took over not from zoning. Fast forwarded to Peter Obi's second tenure. When Peter Obi ran second tenure from Central, it was not from zoning. And during that election, that was 2010, the incumbent governor Soludo was candidate of PDP. And all the other people that ran in PDP were all from South. And when they lost their ticket in PDP, Andrew ran in Labour Party, Nicholas Ukachukwu ran in Hope Party, Mogalo ran in APP. So Peter Obi went to election and won, not because of zoning. After Peter Obi's election, we are aware that APGA as a party said, look, our northern brothers are marginalized in so many ways. Left alone for them to vie for office, they might not be able to compete because of the robust political nature of Anambra State. So APGA decided to rotate. That's rotation.
Not zoning.
Not zoning. So they felt they should rotate.
What's the difference there?
The difference there is that you rotate. And that rotate is that if you are in power, you can choose to go this way. If you are in power.
Okay, if your party is in power.
If your party is in power. So use the party, the incumbency strength to move it to that place. Nevertheless, when they moved, the current governor of Anambra, Soludo, was then in AMGA. He still ran for the election. That was in 2013. He ran as for the primaries in AMGA and made it clear he does not believe in zoning. Rightly so. Then there were other candidates. Tony Moyo was candidate of PDP. He was candidate not because of zoning. He fought the battle of his life, that young man. Who were his strongest opponents in PDP? Andy Uba from South, Nicholas Ukachukwu from South. And they fought him until 1 week to the election. So did he win the ticket because of zoning? No. In the same election was when the Hercules and the mighty man of Anambra politics, Ifeanyi Uba, showed up for the first time in Labour Party. He shook the whole state with his own style of politics from the South. So Obiano won, not because he was from North. There was zoning. He won from the strength of APGA. Then fast forward to 2017, Obiano's second tenure. Who else fought? There was APC. It was supposed to be a race between Obiano and Andy Uba. Obiano in APGA, APC for Andy. The young man, the magician, political magician of Anambra State, Tony Moyo, was able to win the ticket again from Andy, but not because he's from the North.
For the PDP?
APC this
for
time.
APC, yes.
Not because he was from the North, but it's because he had his acts put together and he had his way. He won it. It was a race meant for Andy Uba. And in the same 2017, you had other candidates from the North. So where was that? But having said so, assuming there was zoning without considering, it's 8 years tenure to a zone. Today, officially, North has done 8 years. We consider it that from the records, Peter Obi did 8 years. Obiano did 4 years. Now Soludo is completing another 4 years from South.
Obiano did 8 years.
Obiano did 8 years, pardon me. Now Soludo is completing another 4 years from South. Obiano's 8 years, Peter Obi's 8 years, Obiano's Soludo's 4 years, plus Mbadenju's 4 years. It's 8 years. So Soludo is already completing the tenure of the South. Where else will they go to? It's central. So it should be central. And as it is now, that marginalization concern has been cured because all zones have gone. But beyond that, the state of Anambra in this time, we should not be talking about where the candidate is coming from. We need a rescue. We need to pull us out from that dungeon. We should be looking at who is the best person to do the job.
Can it work in Anambra? For APC, for instance, if you look at the record of the party in Anambra, it's like a big wall they are unable to penetrate.
Yes.
And you understand the
No. You're absolutely right. Those are very, very correct. But however, politics and political structure is not concrete. It's human being. Where if there
are no permanent enemies.
No, if there are people
interests.
move into that political system, it changes the whole dynamics. That's what is going on now. I have moved. A lot of people are coming in. A number of people are not seeing it not from the past, but the perspective, those who are there. Oh, if this person is there, if these people are there, then there is hope. Let's consider it. So the perception, as a matter of fact, a number of people are now looking up to APC for the rescue. It is a number of people calling APC, please come and rescue us, but with a caveat, it must be the right person. And I can tell you that I'm sufficiently convinced that greater number of Anambra people don't care about zoning. So if you see anybody fanning the amber of zoning today, it's coming from AMDA. And the reason why they're doing that is fear of me. Because they think that if they will make every political party give their candidacy to South, then it's already a win for Soludo, who is an incumbent, who has an advantage. But obviously, APC is a strategic party. They know that they have weighed the whole situation and said that the bulk of vote in the central. I am the strong man of central politics, obviously, Anambra, we can be counted. So if you have already the candidate who is not doing well, Soludo and his AMGA in the South, where do you have to go and get? Central.
In the past, we have seen balkanization of votes from the other parties, limiting the chances of the opposition. PDP would likely field candidates. Labour Party will also likely field candidates. And this may disrupt this equation.
Yeah. Every party going for election should have a candidate. But I can assure you that when after the primaries and when the candidates emerge, there should be a very, very serious talk. And depending on who is the candidate, or if somebody like me in APC is the candidate, I will be able to galvanize and form a coalition. And then we will have a common enemy. And that common enemy, obviously, is Soludo, who don't seem to be given value for life, and the blood in Anambra that they shed, and the spirit of those who were killed for no fault of theirs, they will rise in support of us and the intervention for our agenda before Almighty God in heaven.
It's those that are alive that vote. Anyway, in 1 minute, we're out of time. Yeah. Describe Tinubu's economic policies and how it will play out this year.
Well, since coming into power by the current administration led by His Excellency Asiwaju Tinubu, there have been hard economic decisions. That's what I can say. And obviously these hard economic decisions have had its own impact in so many areas. And generally, looking at it, it's been brought about tough conditions. But there's something they continue to say. With time, things will get better. Obviously, nobody wants to be in pain for a very long time. But one thing I can say is that If I take, for instance, the aviation sector, we have experienced a situation where the policies, the forex exchange policy, has made our business very, very easy. Before now, you might have all the naira you need, put it in the bank, bid for foreign exchange from CBN. Your money could be there for 1 year, 2 years, no naira, no access to your naira, no access to
So it's
foreign
beneficial
exchange.
to the aviation sector.
So to the extent that now the policy that has liberated access to foreign exchange, that you can now bid and get access from inflows, I&E window.
That's the hope now.
It has
the
made,
hope
it
is
has
that
made a lot of,
as it's benefiting businesses, it should also benefit the masses who are struggling extremely.
You're absolutely right. But the only thing that at this stage of benefiting is that under that forex angle, there is supposed to be a very deliberate government policy to soften the hardship. Some of these things may not be related to business. There's no country in the world that do not intervene to save a situation. That more of that intervention that must be genuine is required.
Okay.
All right. And I think that time is also needed. But more importantly, I also call, as much as the strategic communication team of Mr. President are doing what they can do, what they know best, there should be more strategic communication. Not even to be proactive. For instance, this is the same government that has just shown us that Port Harcourt refinery is working, Warri refinery is working. People are even saying, could it be possible just because it has been waited so long? And then the argument is whether it's working or not. Such a thing is a great achievement already. And we hope that with time, it will affect the cost of fuel, and then it will reduce the cost of salary and will cascade. But that communication is very, very
We'll
critical.
have to leave it here. Professor Obiora Okonkwo, Chairman, United Nigeria Airlines. Wish you well in your new platform and in your expectations and objectives. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I hope very soon we will invite you to our formal declaration. This is a little bit of soundbite.
Testing the waters as it were. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Amaechi Anakwue. Have a good time.